Welcome to the Membership Guys podcast. Kick-ass advice and tips for membership site owners.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 192 of the Membership Guys podcast. This is the number one place to be for proven practical tips and advice on growing a successful membership website. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, one half of the Membership Guys, and today I actually have the other half gracing us with her presence on the show. Say hello, Callie Willows.
Hello! I am finally allowed back on the show.
Yeah, you started a podcast of your own, and I
couldn't take the competition.
I couldn't take the competition. I was just waiting to see whether that was just a power play, whether you were trying to usurp me as the podcasting person in the business. I think I watch too much Game of Thrones. Like I see conspiracies and usurpers everywhere.
Game of podcasts, Game
of memberships. Anyway, so we're bringing Callie on the show today to do something pretty much different from any other episode we've done of this show. And this all really started from an experience Callie had recently in joining a membership. So by nature of what we do, we join a lot of membership sites. It's one of the best ways of seeing what works and keeping on top of that stuff in the membership space. But obviously we are running a business too. So there's always things that we're looking to improve, that we're looking to develop for our own business. And as a result, it's not uncommon for us to purchase training, to join memberships purely for our own interests. And one such situation recently led to a little bit of a kind of a downward spiral in terms of user experience, in terms of just a buyer experience. And it was actually Callie who had purchased a product that led to what I think is fair to describe as your worst ever membership experience.
My worst ever buying experience, not only membership experience, but worst ever buying experience. And yeah, I think you've kind of just got me on here because you're sick of me ranting about it now.
Honestly, it's not that I'm sick of you ranting. It was just one of those where every single day, Callie was kind of either updating, not by way of, oh, hey, here's a little update, by way of full-blown rage-filled rant about how terrible this whole this whole user experience, buyer experience had been. And by around about the 7-day mark, I kind of thought, you know what? We need to record this. Now, this isn't going to be 10 minutes of Callie just raging and ranting. I don't think
that's not what you promised.
Yeah, this is just an outlet for you to vent your spleen. But no, we thought there's so much that can actually be learned from looking at how not to do things. And this is very much a case of how not to do things in terms of a membership or in terms of any types of online products. But as you'll discover, the membership side of things is where things really went downhill. So this is different. This is not something we've done before. We won't be naming names. We're not going to be giving specifics because it's not our intention to trash anyone or to call anyone out or anything like that. This is more about identifying just some of the worst tactics, the worst approach to handling certain things, hopefully in the aim of, at a minimum, giving you a bit of entertainment, getting to hear Callie rage a little, but also, there's definitely some key points that you can pick out of this that you can almost use as a gut check to verify that you are doing things the right way and not the wrong way. So, are you ready to get into this, Callie?
I am.
You are. Yeah, I can see the fists are clenched. Okay, we need to give a little bit of background on this because this was kind of my fault, wasn't it?
It was. I think that's the first time I've ever heard you admit to something being your fault. I'm glad we've got it recorded for posterity. Yeah,
I'm fighting every instinct to just tell our editor to cut that part out. But even if I did, I think he'd leave it in. This kind of it almost started with me. So there's a particular thing that we are exploring within our business for which we thought it would be a good idea to get a little bit of education, more so on the process, on the best practices and all of that sort of stuff. And so there's somebody who we were very aware of. They're not a huge mainstream name, but they are known within online business, online marketing circles. And, you know, they have a lot of credibility. There's a lot of track record to back up what they're teaching and all that sort of stuff. And it's one of those where they have a book. And I think we always just assumed that we had that book, right? I thought you had it. You thought I had it. You know, if you think I jealously protect the podcast, I jealously protect my book collection as well. So that led to a situation where we both thought, okay, well, we've got this guy's book. So when it comes time to actually doing this, let's take a look at the book. And the time came, we realized we didn't have it. And so we started looking at, okay, let's get a copy of this. Now, the reason we decided to go with this guy is I'd actually seen him speaking at an event I was speaking at a few months prior, and I liked him. You know, he had a real kind of, I don't want to say humble, because that maybe elevates him a little too much as a kind of, oh wow, for such a huge name, he was very humble. But, you know, it was a very relatable style. He seemed very genuine, very knowledgeable. And as a matter of fact, at that talk, he was giving out free copies of his book, which, because I thought we already had it, I didn't take. And if I had, maybe all this would have been avoided. So the story really starts where Callie went to purchase this guy's book.
Yeah. So normally I am an Amazon all the way girl, but it wasn't.
That sounds so. That's got to be a euphemism somewhere in the world. I'm an Amazon all the way girl. Anyway.
Thanks for that.
That's my last. I'll shut up now.
This is why we don't do these things together.
This is why we don't do these things together.
So back to the point. Yeah, so normally I would buy books on Amazon, but this book, Amazon, it was one of those where the pricing's really weird for it. And also he was doing a free plus shipping offer on the book at the minute. Now, I normally kind of avoid those because I always presume you're just going to be hit by upsell after upsell.
Yeah, because it's a common tactic in the not dodgier side, but certainly the more internet marketing heavy side of things to give away your book where all someone has to pay is for the shipping. So we kind of, whenever we see that, we usually know that there's a sales funnel coming up because, people like Russell Brunson, they advocate this tactic very heavily in their teachings as well. So we kind of knew what that was, right?
Yeah. And FYI, it's 4 weeks later and I still haven't got the book. So, yeah.
This red flag number one.
Yeah. And so I went to buy that book with the free plus shipping. And as I expected, they do an upsell offer on the checkout. And it was a product that we talked about buying anyway. So I thought, yeah, I'll do that. And so it was kind of this, I won't say the name because it'll make it too obvious who this is. But yeah, it was a starter product essentially. Mm-hmm. And so it was case of...
It was fairly cheap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was $40. Yeah. So it was kind of, it wasn't expensive. We'd already talked about buying it anyway.
Yeah, it's a standard type of upsell that you'll see on those checkout bumps. But it's always the thing with these is, like, we know this is a sales funnel. And I think sometimes when people buy into this stuff, they're unaware. So we were kind of, well, I'm saying we, but, you know, when you decide to take that, you know that this is, you know, the engineering and the strategy behind it, but it is also a product that, yeah, we'd actually seen separately and thought, for $40, we'd probably give that a try, right?
Yeah. And it's always interesting to see how people work these funnels. So I ticked the box to add that to the checkout. And there's a little line under there that just said you'll get 30 days free in our community as part of purchasing this. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. Bought the product. It then takes you to a page where there's a sales video for booking a call with one of their consultants to presumably then get pitched to a higher program. No problem with that. That's what funnels are. I just clicked away from that and sat back and waited for what I'd ordered to kind of arrive. Yeah. Within the space of 5 minutes, I'd got 3 emails. One kind of thanking me for purchasing the book and also giving me a PDF version while I waited for the book to arrive in the post, although the link didn't actually work, but that's another thing.
Red flag number 2.
Yeah, I then got another email with login details for their site for the product that I'd purchased. And as part of that email, there was a paragraph that said, as part of this purchase, you've got 30 days free in our mastermind community. After that 30 days, you'll start to be charged on an ongoing basis. So at this point, I'm like, but hang on, I didn't agree to sign up to a subscription. What am I actually getting charged for on an ongoing basis? How do I make this stop? How much is it? What's it for? Yeah. So at no point in that checkout process when I bought that upsell, other than that mention of you'll get 30 days free in our community, was there any kind of anything to do with there being a membership, a subscription, or anything like that. There certainly wasn't an option to opt out of it. So it was a case of if you bought this upsell of this product, you got this 30 days free. So you actually had no opt-out. You couldn't choose anything. And the first time that I became aware that this was an ongoing recurring payment was in this email where it's like, you've got 30 days free in the community as a bonus for buying this. After those 30 days, you'll start being charged on an ongoing basis. If you want to cancel that, then you'll need to contact us. Yeah. So automatically I'm thinking, okay, that's not on. This isn't what I've agreed for. You're also not telling me how much I'm going to be charged on an ongoing basis. It's just you're going to start being charged on an ongoing basis. And you're not telling me what's that for. Is it literally just for a Facebook group, in which case, no thanks? Or is there content, things like that involved?
Yeah. So far, apart from like the things with the download links or the PDFs not working, so those kind of those oversights, those little whoopsies in terms of delivering an online product. So far, really the biggest and worst thing that they've done is just almost deliberately not transparent on their upsell page about the membership. Now, let's get this straight. Like, it's not an uncommon tactic when you have that sort of upsell to include a 30-day free trial and a membership, but it's not in gray area. It's definitely not right. And actually it's illegal to sign someone up to a subscription without actually A, telling them that there'll be a recurring payment after their free trial, and B, telling them how much it's for.
And what it is.
And what it is. So, you will see people using this strategy right will actually, what they'll do is they'll say, as a bonus, you'll also get 30 days or 1 month free inside our such and such membership community. After that, it'll be X amount, but you can cancel at any time. So they don't hide the fact. They actually promote the fact this is a bonus. You're getting a month free, and if you don't want it, if you don't like it, you can cancel. Obscuring that, and it's funny because the FTC in the US in the last few years really started hammering down on hidden subscriptions. Like, seriously, like this is the sort of thing, and there's probably part of the reason why we decided not to name names. It's the sort of thing that they will get major fines by the FTC for not making this clear. But so you now know, okay, that 30 days free, it's a free trial into a membership. You're annoyed that they didn't make that clear on the sales page. But then one further, you still don't really know what it's for, and you don't know how much it's going to be. Yeah,
I've been automatically signed up for a membership that I don't know what it is, what it includes, or how much it costs. And even
if it's run by the guy whose thing you just bought, it could be anything.
Yeah, and it
could be a gym membership.
Yeah, and as Mike said, it's not necessarily uncommon to offer a membership as an upsell, but the upsell that I bought wasn't a membership. It was a very defined product. Yeah. And this, the 30 days in the community was a free bonus for that I couldn't opt out of. So I'm automatically...
that product is something that this guy sells separately as a standalone thing. It's not something where it's only available inside the membership, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of that, okay, so I've been automatically signed up for a membership that I didn't want to join, didn't I was joining.
Well, you didn't know you didn't want to join.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
You
It's
didn't
like,
know
actually,
that it existed.
Yeah, actually, maybe I would want to join it if I knew what it was, how much it was going to cost, and things like that. So this email automatically put my hackles up, because it's like, okay, but you're telling me I've been automatically signed up to this subscription that I didn't agree to. There was no opt-out of it on the checkout page, so I couldn't have deselected being signed up to this. And you're not telling me how much it's going to be on an ongoing basis. You're not telling me what I'm actually getting. Is it literally just the Facebook group, or is there other things and things like that? And I kind of decided I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. So I requested access to the Facebook group to see what it was all about. There was a login link to the website where I logged in to see what was included. And that was kind of more and more upsells in there. And then kind of a few recorded webinars that were included in this community. So I'm still not clear on what this free trial actually includes and what it is on an ongoing basis.
And how to cancel.
Yeah, there's still no mention of how much it's going to cost. There's no details on the website of what this actually is. And there's no link to support or anything like that on the website either. So,
oh, man. And that's deliberate, right?
Yeah.
They've deliberately not put the link to the customer support because they'd have to hire dozens and dozens of support people to answer the same email. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Why have I been signed up for it?
Yeah. So at this point, I go up to Mike's office and I start ranting at him about this and about how this guy's a charlatan and, don't want to do anything with him ever again.
Why did you make me buy his book?
And then, but then, as I said, I decided to give them the benefit of doubt. So I requested access to the Facebook group. I emailed the support asking for clarification of, what have I been signed up to? This wasn't apparent on the checkout page. What is it?
And again, it's real important to highlight the fact that this membership, presumably, and this guy and everything that he offers very specifically is an area that we wanted to learn more about. So we were prime for buying his stuff. So it's not, had they actually turned around and says, okay, well, actually, sorry if that wasn't clear on the checkout page. I'm going to pass that on because you're right. That could probably do with some clarification. And here's what the membership is. The membership is training about such and such that complements the product you've already bought. It includes Q&As. It includes a Facebook community to do whatever. Then, and this is the cost. Then it is entirely possible and indeed more likely than unlikely that we would have discussed it and actually turned around and said, okay, actually, great, if we'd have known that you had a membership site about this topic that we are very interested in, we probably would have just joined that first rather than buying the other product because we love memberships, right? Yeah. So it wasn't even a case of you giving us a product we don't want. It was a case of you've subscribed us to something, we don't know what it is, you didn't ask us, you still don't know how much it costs or what the point of any of this is. So, yeah, it's just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, and for anyone who's wondering this, the product that they called this in their email, I did Google it, and it isn't listed as a product of theirs anywhere. Yeah. So they either call it something some different somewhere else, or it's just a back-end product that they don't sell on the front end, because it's
designed to trick people. This is what a lot of people used to refer to as continuity programs, where it is literally just, hook people in through the front door and then without them realizing, hit them with an ongoing subscription.
Yeah, so I had looked to see if I could find any more information out. 6-7 days go past. I still haven't been accepted to the Facebook group. So the 30-day free trial going into the ongoing subscription, it's 7 days in and I still haven't actually been granted access to the group. And come on, guys, it's a Facebook group. You just need to click approve. And then I also haven't heard anything back.
It's throwing so much shade. Come on, guys. It's a Facebook group.
And I still haven't heard back from customer service either. So I emailed back to the welcome email again and asking them, can you just cancel this, guys? Look, I'm not getting anything back from you. I've not even been accepted into this group that I'm supposed to have 30 days free in. It's now a week later. And just cancel this. I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah. So prior to that, you'd actually been open to just tell us what it is and I might stay. right? So you hadn't even kicked off at them yet.
Yeah. I should also say as well, during that 7 days, I received 22 other emails from them with other products, a few emails about the product that I'd actually bought, but most of them were emails trying to sell me other things as well, including stuff that was nothing to do with the original topic that I was showed an interest in. And it was just like, okay, stop now.
So you haven't had the book that you signed up for and paid for. You haven't been granted access to the membership that they've sneakily put you into. But they're still trying to sell you other rubbish.
Yeah.
Having demonstrated that actually, if you buy this, you're probably not going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And, again, I try and be fair and give people the benefit of the doubt. Stuff goes wrong, emails go missing and things like that. But
that's a lot of benefit of the doubt to give them.
At that point, my patience was wearing thin. Now, funnily enough, a few hours after I sent the email asking to be cancelled, I was let into the Facebook group. So again, at that point, I was like, okay, well, I'm in here now, so I'll take a look around and see what's going on. And there's a couple of thousand people in the Facebook group. There's some chat going on. What I do notice is that there's 3 or 4 other posts of people saying, hey, I just want to cancel. Nobody will answer my emails. How do I get hold of support? Blah, blah, blah. So there was 3 or 4 of those that I noticed. And when I went back to the group an hour later, those had all been deleted. So clearly they're doing
Customer service.
Yeah. So clearly in this group, they are just removing any posts that are asking about cancelling and things like that.
Wow.
And again, I think, oh, well, I'm in here now. I'll see how it goes. I've still got another 20, 21, 22 days of this supposed 3 trial. So I'll see.
It's fair to point out as well that there's always a degree of kind of throwing ourselves on the grenade.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of like, okay, like by nature of what we do, everything we experience in the online world, good or bad, is a teachable moment. It's stuff we can then come on a podcast and talk about. So there is that. I think from our conversations, there was that degree of kind of, still wanting what was paid for and hoping that actually, okay, it might have just been a little bit of a mix up and maybe the membership is actually really, really good. But also a kind of, that's probably not the case, but let's just play this out to see how bad it gets.
Yeah, I was kind of curious to see what was actually going to happen and how this was going to go. And, again, even when I joined the Facebook group, I still wasn't sure what I was actually getting access to.
You only joined it because here's the Facebook group for that thing.
Yeah, but then it seems like there's people from all different products in this Facebook group all talking about different things. So it still wasn't clear to me what I was actually going to be paying for if I carried on this subscription. Yeah,
the Facebook group wasn't the membership, was it? It was just somewhere they dump all of their customers.
Essentially, but then there didn't really seem to be anything else either apart from a few recorded webinars and things like that. So again, at that point, a few days later, I still hadn't heard back from customer service. So I emailed them again and I was like, look, just cancel my account, please. And this was one of those things where it was on a credit card as well. So it was not like it was PayPal and I could go in and check for any subscriptions and stop them.
Yeah, although you could do a chargeback.
Yeah, if they didn't cancel me and
it's quite dumb for them because a PayPal dispute is one thing, but credit card chargebacks, like they can have if you're a vendor and people are repeatedly pushing through fraud claims against you, that can have massive negative implications for you. So
and
they're stupid.
Yeah, and I have to say at this point, I'm going to turn 35 soon and I have never done a chargeback in my life. But at this point, I was thinking, okay, if they just don't contact me and I start getting this ongoing subscription, I'm going straight to the credit card company and I am going to dispute that kind of thing and things like that. And so eventually, I finally did hear back from customer support and they said...
How long after...
Nearly 2 weeks.
Nearly 2 weeks after that first email.
Yeah. So
that's an amazing response.
Yeah. And so at this point, I get an email back from them and they say, okay, sorry to hear you'd like to cancel. In order to do that, you need to get on a call with one of our coaches to make sure you're making the right decision. And I'm like, No. Anybody that knows me knows I don't do phone calls in the first place, even with people I like, let alone someone who's just clearly going to try and sell me on this thing. You still haven't answered any of my questions in your email in terms of what this actually is or how much it costs. But you're trying to get me on a call with this coach so that I don't cancel this product that I don't know what it is.
Hey, I'm sorry you think that we totally suck. I'm sorry you think that we ripped you off. I'm sorry we put you in a membership. We didn't tell you anything about it. We didn't tell you how much it cost. We didn't tell you we were going to do it. Understandably, you want to leave, but we feel you need to run it by one of our staff so they can convince you that you are wrong.
Yeah. And, I have to say, I'm quite civil in my emails. I was raging, but I'm quite nice in my emails. Yeah. So I wasn't being like nasty or anything. But in this email where it's like you need to book a call with this coach in order to cancel, there's a link to a call calendar with absolutely no call slots available.
So even if you wanted to do it, there's no availability.
Yeah, so I went forward all the way till May and there was absolutely no call times available.
Yeah. And for the record, this podcast will probably go out possibly end of March, maybe beginning of April. And so we're recording it now the beginning of Feb. So that's 3 months of the calendar. Actually, a little bit.
4 months.
It was 4 months from when you actually did it. So yeah, book this. The only way to cancel is to book a call with one of our coaches that you cannot book for 4 months because there's no availability. What planet are these people on?
And again, it's the fact that even when they did get back to me, they still didn't address those questions of what actually is this and how much is it? It's like, do you actually know how much this is? Do you know what this is actually for? Or is it just a random payment that you're hoping people will just be like, oh, well, this is probably what I get with it. Yeah. So at this point, I was majorly done with this company.
Yeah, you were raging.
Yeah, and so I was just like, no, not booking a call with a coach. I just want to just cancel my account, And for anybody who, we're fans of high touch memberships, I have absolutely no problem with you offering a call to members who want to cancel, but making somebody's cancellation dependent on them having that call is a big no-no for me.
Yeah, and if you are doing that, you need to have some availability because, so I can literally only cancel if I book a call with a coach, but there are no call slots available for the next 4 months. So I need to remain a member for at least 4 months before I will be even given a call to cancel. Like, the sickening thing is 60-70% of people will do what you did. They won't stand for it. But there's people who will, and they'll get away with this stuff. And their business, I think, of the type of people who does this sort of thing relies on just that portion of people who are a little too polite, who are a little too forgiving, who give a little too much benefit of the doubt. And they're just ripping people off left, right, and centre. Yeah,
and I have to say that would normally be me as well. Normally, I'm a people pleaser. I don't like causing a fuss. I don't like,
This is why I deal with more stuff, because I am not a people pleaser.
Yeah, but this got to me so much that I was just like, I was feeling angry that other people, as Mike said, wouldn't understand that this was not good practice and would be paying this ongoing subscription for God knows what and for how long. And also just, I pride myself on good customer service. And so to see this kind of terrible, terrible customer service experience was just making me sad and angry. And
it's just completely lacking in any integrity. And again, remember, I've seen this guy speak. He's not, trying to give context without naming names, he's not some huge guru, some massive name. He's fairly well known within certain circles, but I suppose it doesn't that shouldn't matter. But sometimes, when you've got those like huge names, like real big, untouchable level people, then sometimes you look at the sort of situation we're describing and kind of say, they're obviously so far removed from what is going on in their business, and they have such high volume of this stuff. Like, the breakdown in customer service has happened because they are this, person up on a mountaintop and the people actually running the business are so far detached. But that's definitely not the case with this person. And, you know, when I've seen him speak on stage, it's very kind of folksy, it's very relatable, very accessible, and so incongruent to this type of business practice. And, you know, I think it's fair to say that it's not just a case of some systems going wrong. It's not just a case of, okay, well, one or two things they're doing are a little questionable. Maybe they picked up some bad habits from the broader world of internet marketing. Like right from day one, every single part of this has stank.
Yeah, it's been horrible. And also to note what Mike was saying about the person that actually heads up this company, it's interesting to note because he's there in the video after you buy that's trying to upsell you to this higher product of I think it's like a mastermind product or something. I didn't actually watch the video for that part because I knew I didn't want that upsell. But he's in that video. But after that, even the starter product I bought, the $40 product, which is supposed to be his kind of process, he wasn't there. It was a couple of PDFs and a video of a coach of his doing a few questions. So that in itself was a disappointing experience anyway, which I would have let go because it was $40 at the end of the day. But even that $40 felt wasted. So it's interesting that whilst he's the figurehead of the company, at no point in this process did it ever feel like you
bought something from him.
Yeah.
So did they cancel you in the end?
Well, they've said they have, but I'm half expecting to still get a charge in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So it's that thing where, I've got an email confirming that, okay, after 3 emails back and forth about why I didn't want to call with this coach and the fact there was no coaching slots available, they finally just cancelled. Again, at that point, they still hadn't confirmed to me what it was I was subscribed to or how much it was going to be.
This could have been the perfect membership.
Yeah, and it was just a horrible experience all around. But so I've got an email confirming that they've cancelled. They removed my website access straight away, but I'm still in the Facebook group, which is interesting because I would either remove from both because if I was somebody else, I could have quite easily gone into the Facebook group and kicked up a fuss. As I said, there was other people doing that and they were deleting those posts. And I'm not the kind of person that would go into somebody's group and do that. Although I was close at one point when I just wasn't getting any response. But I'm curious if they actually do kick me out of the Facebook group after all, because we all know what it's like with Facebook groups. Sometimes you just don't bother.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm still in a Facebook group of a membership we joined for research purposes like 2 years ago. Yeah, and they still haven't kicked me out of the group. I don't use it because it's not useful, but I'm just sticking around really now to see how long they go without kicking me out, and it'll probably be the same thing with this situation. So
so after 3 weeks, I'm finally cancelled, but I have absolutely no confidence that I am not going to get charged after all. So I am keeping an eye on my credit card.
So let's summarize this whole thing. So you purchase a book, or you sign up to get a free book where you just pay the shipping. 3 or 4 weeks ago, the book still hasn't arrived. You took up the $40 upsell on the thank you page, which is supposed to be this guy's process, but actually he's not teaching you in that product. They slipped in a 30-day trial into a recurring membership, sneakily. That they didn't tell you about. They haven't told you what the payments are actually going to be. You don't even know what the membership is called. You're just being given some login details and a link to a Facebook group. The Facebook group, they didn't let you in for about 2 weeks. 10 days?
8 days.
8 days. It took them 8 days to approve your request in the Facebook group. You log into the membership to see if it's actually any good. Again, no information about how much your subscription is. No real clear detail on where the value in the membership is. And because
the membership login was essentially to just one of those pages where you see all of their different products.
Yeah.
And there's like maybe 2 things that are highlighted. So it's like, so are those the things that I'm paying for in the ongoing membership? Because there really wasn't much content there. There's a couple of webinars.
Yeah, their membership website is not a membership site. It is essentially another sales page for all of their stuff with a couple of pity freebies thrown in there. The Facebook group is filled with comments from people complaining and wanting to cancel that their support team are just deleting. Their support team, who you emailed from day one, aren't getting back to you. So there's been, 2 weeks with no response from them. They finally reply to your second or third email, after which, the first one being, can you just tell me what I'm paying for and how much it is? Which then goes unanswered. So that obviously becomes, I don't care what this is, cancel me. They then say the only way you can cancel is by booking a coach with a call. You click through out of curiosity to do that, and there's no availability for coaches with calls for at least 4 months. And so you have to keep going back to them, and then they eventually cancel you. And we're nearly 4 weeks on, and you're still in the Facebook group. They haven't kicked you out, even though they've killed your access to the website. You still haven't had the book that they're meant to be sending you, and the PDF copy that they sent you to read in the meantime doesn't work. And there's still a very high chance that they will charge you in a few days' time.
That about sums it up. It's been fun.
Yeah, that is not a positive membership experience.
I don't even want to call it a membership experience because I think it gives memberships a bad name.
It gives memberships a bad name, but actually let's call it what it is. The book and the Tripwire product, they were tactics to trick people into joining a membership that isn't available to join through any other means. So the book and the Tripwire product are purely things to draw you into the membership. And actually the membership, by the sounds of it, isn't the main product.
No, and as I said, there wasn't the Tripwire there's no mention on there. It says you get 30 days free in this community. There's no mention that after that you're automatically being signed up to an ongoing subscription. There's nothing like that. Which is
illegal. It is illegal. I'm sure people listening who know more about this than I do will be able to comment on the extent of that. But I'm 99% positive if the FTC knew about that, if it was reported, they would bring the hammer down.
Yeah, like signing somebody up automatically to a subscription where they don't know what the cost is, they don't know what they're
and they
getting.
don't know that they've been signed up for a subscription.
It's just wrong. And I actually went back to check that I hadn't misremembered the process. So I went back through the funnel to make sure that I hadn't missed anything and, was this actually my error? But nope, it was exactly as I remembered. The Tripwire product, the starter product was the essentially thing. It was just a little note under it that you'll get 30 days free in the community. No option to deselect that. So even if it was a kind of and then you'll get an ongoing billing, you couldn't buy the starter product without agreeing to that anyway. So you couldn't have bought that $40 that you can buy standalone on the website, although presumably they might do the same there.
Yeah, it'll just do exactly the same thing.
So just worst experience ever.
Yeah. And, the thing is, when we decided we were going to record this episode, I did think, okay, so we'll finish off by kind of summing up some of the main lessons that we can learn. I don't even think we need to.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Don't trick people into joining your membership. We say this all the time. It's like picking somebody's pocket as you invite them into your home. They're in your home. You are there. At some point, they're going to realize that their wallet is gone, and they're going to realize that they had it before they came to your house and you're the only other person here. So it's even if you are a shady person who revels in dodgy business practices, the membership model is the one model in which you absolutely cannot get away with this, because it relies on people continuing to pay you, and when people realize you've tricked them, you've conned them, they will not stick around for very long. And then the ridiculousness of that cancellation process, of just ignoring customer support emails, that actually shows you, because those first emails, you were still potentially someone who would voluntarily stick around if this membership was actually worth paying for. All you wanted to know is, okay, I accept that I am in a membership. I don't like that you put me in there, but Tell me what it is, tell me how much it is. And actually, there was a very good chance you would have stuck around. But by ignoring your customer support inquiries, that turned into, I don't care if this is the best membership since sliced bread online, since the Sliced Bread Academy. I want to leave because you guys absolutely suck. So again, that shows you, if you just ignore this stuff, are you relying on people just going away or forgetting about it, or just thinking, there's so much hassle trying to get an answer, so I may as well just stick around and see if I can get any value. It's stupid, because you will lose people who otherwise would maybe have stayed. And then that cancellation process, it's farcical. It's almost like it's a parody of a membership. Is this like an episode of Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher, where, somewhere someone is watching you getting frustrated and rage-filled on a monitor about having to go through the worst membership of all time? But no, unfortunately, this is all real. This is all just so grotesque in terms of business practices, and disappointing as well, because this is actually someone who we want to learn from.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is that this was somebody that, we went into it with actually a genuine interest in what they were teaching. It's, something that we're working on this year, that we thought, this would be a good person to kind of follow.
Yeah, to look at their process, to get some of their tips and best practices from someone who has done this repeatedly, successfully, but it's kind of blowing up. And while we're not naming names on this show, we have a lot of shared contact, and without question, this will come up. Yeah. And I can pretty much guarantee some of those people will listen to this podcast and they'll send us a little message and they'll say, who is it you're talking about? Or, are you talking about this person? It's always funny, the fact that actually when these conversations happen, a lot of people know already. And so his reputation below the surface is not being helped by this kind of just ridiculously bad and in some aspect illegal business practices.
And even if we give him the benefit of the doubt and say a lot of this was his team and maybe he doesn't know that this is happening and things like that, but he's still responsible for his team.
And he knows. He absolutely knows. So anyway, I think we wrap that up there.
Yeah.
I think, we don't want to push the issue too much. So hopefully this has been a good reminder of what not to do. Your membership should be the antithesis, the absolute polar opposite of this kind of garbage. It's disappointing, it's embarrassing, it's rage-inducing for us as representatives of the membership industry that there are still absolute scumbags who are doing this and dragging down this industry. And it's people like that and the impression that they give others about what memberships are. It's people like that spoil it for the rest of us. So I absolutely know that everyone listening to this podcast does not fall into that camp. But my hope is, if nothing else, this episode galvanizes you and further spurs you on to be the good guys in your industry, to run a membership with integrity that doesn't trick people, that doesn't use shady tactics, that doesn't tell people the only way to cancel is to book a call with a coach that isn't available to speak to you for like 4 or 5 months. Unbelievable. I'm kind of hoping I'm running this guy at an event sometime soon, and I'll just point towards this podcast episode and go, that's you. Because I'll do it. Anyway, was there anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. I think I've got my rant out.
Have you got it out your system now?
I think I might just start a podcast where I just rant.
Now, in recording this, I'm well aware of the fact that we may need to come back and edit on a little epilogue.
As to whether I get charged.
Yeah. So, at the time of recording, this is it. This is the end of the tale. It may very well be that in just a few seconds, you're going to hear a little bit extra. If not, though, then the good news is that Callie was in charge and that this whole torrid affair comes to an end. But hey, maybe we will need to do a part 2 sometime soon. Anyway, that is it from me. That is it from Callie. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Don't get used to it. All right, that's it from us. Hopefully you found this episode useful, or at the very least entertaining. I'd love to hear some of your experiences. What are some of the worst practices that you've experienced as a member of other people's memberships or as just a buyer of online products? Let us know if you're inside our free Facebook group. We're going to be talking about this in there. If you're not in the free group, you can head over to talkmemberships.com. If you type that in your browser, it'll redirect you to our group. Or if you're on the Facebook app, just search for Membership Mastermind. You'll find over 11,000 membership site owners in there. And I'm pretty confident that this is a subject that will be getting discussed inside the group. And of course, if you are a member of the Academy, you know we're going to be talking about this inside the member community too. Or hit me up on Twitter. Let me know at Membership Guys what your worst experience with this kind of thing is. That's it from me. That's it from us. I'll be back again next week with another installment of the Membership Guys podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Membership Guys podcast, we invite you to check out the membersiteacademy.com. The Member Site Academy is the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing and running a membership website. So whether you're still figuring out what your idea is going to be, or whether your website is already up and running and you're just looking for ways to grow it and attract new members, then the Member Site Academy can help you to get to the next level. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive member-only discounts, perks and tools, and a supportive, active community to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement and advice, the Member Site Academy is the perfect place to be for anyone looking to start, manage and grow a successful membership website. So check it out at membersiteacademy.com.